and this is Jordan, and we're answering questions.
I could have introduced myself.
Yeah, well,
I'm Jordan.
He's Jordan.
This is Will.
I'm Will. I could introduce myself. I guess I did. Anyway, this is a typical conversation for us. We're going to answer some questions for you.
Me?
Not you. Them.
Okay.
It's about them. Okay, so we're the authors of Destined. And do you want to start us off with the questions?
Okay, question number 1. What inspired you to write this book? Well, there's 2 parts of the story. I'll tell my part. I was doodling in one of my sociology classes back at co-college, and it turned into an inspirational story that I wanted to write. I had no idea how to write. Since I had a passion for movies, I decided to learn how to write a screenplay. So I self-taught myself the techniques, the format, the style, telling, not showing, all those things. And I wrote my first screenplay, and it was really bad. Really, really, really bad. Like, terrible. I haven't looked at it for about 10 years. But I still had that passion. So I continued to do more research, and I wrote another screenplay, and it was actually much, much better. And in the process of all this, I really progressed in my writing and my learning and the knowledge and all that. And I had a dream one night, and it was very sci-fi, very fantasy, and it was something I had to write down. So I wrote it down, and a week later, I was inspired to go out to this filmmaking group that took place in a coffee shop. I went there. I was extremely nervous because it's not my crowd, and I was about to walk out until I ran into Will, and he asked if I was part of the group, and I told him I was just visiting, and I was there expressing my passion for writing and learning and expanding and growing, and Will really liked that, so we set up a meeting, and he pitched me this story, which was the seed of Destined, and it clicked really well with the dream that I had a week prior. So we worked really hard to make this something that we truly loved, and it became an actual passion. So that's what inspired my part of the story.
Yeah, and I, just a little bit before we met, rather the summer before we met, which was in March, so the summer of 2013, I had been working on an idea. I wanted to do a movie and make it for YouTube just for fun. And basically that, I was playing around with a certain kind of story, and that story turned into Destined. And then once we met and started working together, it turned into the book Destined, and then the trilogy Destined. And so that's what inspired us to write, is just we both had ideas, and we met each other, and we really clicked, and we synced really well. And then we found out that our story ideas were very, very similar and meshed well. And so, you know, the other inspiration for the story is we wanted to tell a story that encouraged others, and that encouraged and inspired and entertained others. And really, Destined is that, or it's meant to be that. It's something that the message and messages within Destined, and that are to also be revealed in the second and third book. The hope there is that it encourages others to live life to their fullest, and have the courage to chase and pursue whatever they feel their calling is. So, question 2, who's your favorite character and why? I like Rykor a lot. Rykor is... he's a very cool character. He's very smart, but he knows how to have fun. He likes to tell stories. He's strong and tender. It's really hard to pick a favorite character, just by the way. I mean, it's kind of like picking your favorite child. I also really like Elle.
You're still picking your favorites.
But I'm still kind of picking my favorites, aren't I? Yeah. They're all favorites. I like Lyanna. I like Otis. Yeah, I like all of them. But no. Those, I think Riker and Elle somehow go to the top. But Lyanna, though, I mean, Lyanna, I kind of like, there's Lyanna and then there's everyone else. But yeah, I'm also looking forward to introducing readers to new characters in book 2. We have some new characters that are really fun.
So who's your favorite? You give me give them an
Hey,
answer.
it's your turn to answer the question.
Okay, so
I don't know.
I really liked her father, Otis Gallivan. Spoiler, and Knock. The villain of the book, not because of the characters you get to read about in the book, but because of the backstory you don't know about. There's a lot that happened before this book, before the time that occurred that was written in the book. There's a lot that happened prior to Lyanna's existence, and those are secrets, and that's why I like them, because they're in my friend circle.
Look at question 3.
If your book had a candle, what name and scent would you choose?
We read. I don't know.
Oh my gosh, mine would be tobacco pipe or leather.
It has to represent the book.
Hot.
Not your candle, like what your preference is. Like, if the book was a candle, what would its scent be? Rich mahogany. No, I don't know.
Birthday cake?
Yes, because it's so good you want to eat it.
Probably, it would smell like the cape of Darth Vader after a big workout. Oil and sweat.
I just envision Darth Vader at the gym,
just dabbing his scarred up, burnt face.
No, I just dabbing up his helmet. Like, he's just like taking, like, he's in full gear. He's just like.
He takes the helmet off and has to like pour the sweat out because it just collects where his breathing apparatus is. It's
like a brass instrument. He's got a spit valve where he blows and he just blows out spit.
It's just like a chin hatch.
Exactly.
There you go.
In all seriousness, I bet the candle would probably smell like the woods. Like kind of like a
bonfire woods.
Yeah,
or
bonfire,
standing tree woods.
Or
forest on fire woods.
Definitely not forest on fire. Okay. I think it would be there's candles like after Christmas time, whatever kind of tree that is, Christmas tree. But it would smell like the woods. No, but there's a name for it, elm or something. I don't know. It would smell like the woods, but there would be a hint of maybe fire or hint of. Whatever adventure smells like.
Burning metal.
Burning metal. That's what adventure smells like.
What about a lavender? That's a really good essential
hint
oil.
Of lavender.
Yeah, and some thieves.
Thieves?
Yeah.
Sure. 40 of them in the candle.
It's a very rare question, and I greatly appreciate
it.
It
is.
Makes us think deeply.
I have no idea what the name would be.
Like a fresh couch.
You know what the name of the candle would be? Destined.
It would.
It'd be called Destined. Number 4, what's your writing routine? This one we actually know an answer to. The writing routine is, and this is, I'm going to answer 4 and 5. 5 is, are we pantsers or plotters? So the writing routine is very organized and structured, which thus the answer to 5 is we are plotters. The writing routine is we plan everything out together. In fact, these behind us are 2 whiteboards that are being used to help plan out book 2, which is
spoilers. That's why they're backwards.
Exactly, which is how we actually did book 1. Is once I pitched Jordan on the story, and once we realized the meshing of our ideas, we went to a whiteboard and spent like 6 to 9 months just at a whiteboard. No computer, nothing. Just thinking of our characters, thinking of the story.
No cards.
And doing note cards. So once we have an idea of an outline, once we have a pretty solid outline, we then do scene cards, very much like you would for a screenplay. And we block out the scenes, the main ideas, and maybe even some dialogue ideas in those scene cards. And then Jordan takes the first draft, and I do other things that need to be done while that's being done. And then once he's done, he bounces that to me. I go through it, I edit, but I also add a lot. And we just bounce it back and forth like that until we feel it's ready for beta readers. And we give it to beta readers, and then editor, of course, or editors. And then eventually we're done with the book.
Yep.
After a long time.
Yep.
So that's 4 and 5.
That was pretty good. That was well done.
Cool. What's 6?
6. Is there a snack or drink you have on hand while writing?
Ooh,
Yes.
good question.
I'm a big Templeton Rye fan. A very strong brown adult beverage. And I have 2 shots on the rocks, and that's what I enjoy while I write. That with music in the background, just me and the computer, story. It's definitely my go-to. I don't eat anything while I write.
Yeah. When we're working together, we usually have a few gallons of coffee.
Yes.
And
I didn't even think of the coffee.
his version of coffee is really intense.
Crack cocaine coffee, colon cleaner coffee. You call it whatever you want. There's a bunch of C's in the abbreviations.
Yeah, he makes really intense coffee, and I've learned to be able to drink it.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to say love it.
Creates bladder infections and creative imagination.
And chest hair.
Back hair.
And back hair.
Yeah.
Anyway, we have a lot of creamer, or I have a lot of creamer in the coffee because it's really strong. But no, outside of that, honestly, when writing at home, that was his answer was like when he's writing by himself. And I'm writing at home also, I will have either a glass of red wine or coffee or tea, but it's usually red wine.
You really started with a lot of French press coffee.
When you and I were starting?
Yeah,
we did do that. Yeah.
We had something very specific.
We did. Wow, we haven't had that in a long time.
No, we haven't.
And then this is a little bonus, but usually during book 1, when we would finish a writing session, we would watch Star Wars Rebels.
Yes, we did.
Star Wars season 1. We still need to watch season 2.
Oh,
oh yeah.
When we finished our first and second draft, we had cigars outside.
Yeah.
And then he got scared by a dog that looked like a coyote.
That's true.
I laughed.
There's a dog nearby that looks like a coyote, and I was like, "There's a coyote in your yard." And he's like, "No, it's not a coyote."
Yeah,
but that's kind of how it went.
Yeah.
Okay. Book you're currently reading. You're going through quite a few.
Fall of Reach, Don't Look Back, Hunger Games. I gotta go down and get the new series that I'm trying out, and then The Hobbit.
And see what books.
And then I was just getting done reading On Writing by Stephen King, and a couple books that focus on your imaginary technique on how to think deeper and be more creative in that branch of writing.
I'm about to...
And comic books.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, I was going to say, I read a lot of graphic novels. That really helps with my creativity. And I also just love I'm really good at... Well, not really good. I'm stronger with description and details and stuff like that. And I'm growing as a writer in dialogue. So that's part of why I'm enjoying graphic novels so much right now is I just get to really absorb and dig into dialogue specifically. And so I'm reading Saga. I'm reading, I think it's called East to West. I just finished the Lando graphic novel, which is very good.
Billy D. Williams got his autograph.
Yep. And I'm about to start Hyperion, which is a famous novel. I think science fiction fantasy novel. So what are we currently writing? We're currently writing book 2. That's an easy answer.
Yeah, and the novella is next after the chapter.
Well, yeah. So we have a coming soon chapter we're about to release that will be at the end of book 1.
It's like a teaser for upcoming stories.
Yeah,
I can't tell you which, but it's just something to come.
Yeah, and so that's kind of the fun thing about being self-published is we have a trilogy planned, and we're not trying to pump books out every 3 or 4 months. Which is fine if you do, it's just not our style. But between our core books, we're doing shorter stories to help fill in other things, fill in / kind of tease into what will come in the longer core stories. So we've got some novellas planned, and outside of course book 2 that we're working on now. What's the last
question?
What is the last question?
Where should we go to follow you on social media? Yes. It's everything, right?
Yeah, so facebook.com /destinedbook. And the Destined Book is also our Twitter handle and Snapchat. But if you want to find us on Instagram, it's destined_book.
Or destinedbook.com if you guys want to look on our website.
Destinedbook.com. Thanks so much for listening to our rambling and our answers. And if you read Destin, thank you so much for reading Destin. And we look forward to hearing from you, and would love to hear what you think of the book.
Yes.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, guys.
Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.